Welcome back. Well, here we are, we're riding up the Kaikoura Coast, heading back towards Picton, and you know what that means, it's the end of our South Island tour. Now I have skipped a day. This is now Saturday as far as the calendar goes. The last episode showed the ride down to, well, eventually to Dunedin, to McIver Veitch, where I dropped off the bike and it got repaired. At least the rear tyre was fitted, and as well the good folks there at McIver Veitch identified a little bit of a rear brake caliper problem that I had. They jury rigged that thing for me, and I've already spoken to the contact up in Auckland and got the replacement part sitting there waiting for me when I get back to Auckland to be fitted, and then the bike's ready to roll again, just as good as new. So pretty happy for that, and it was a good outcome. On the day after, or the day that we picked up the bike, which was yesterday, Friday, we're riding up the east coast. I was planning to film a bunch of that day. There was going to be some interesting riding inland that we were going to do, but the weather turned on us. We didn't really get much in the way of a nice weather break, and so I think by the time we got up near close to Timaru, we said, you know what, we're going to pull the pin on the rest of this. We're just going to get back to our various home bases. For us it was Woodend, where we start and finish this whole operation, and this is now the next morning. We rode up with Rex and Joss. They came with us up to Cheviot and we bid our farewells. They went back home, or back down south again. They had other things to do, which left the three of us then, or the three bikes, four riders. Camo right there in front of me, James is running behind, and Armada is on the back of our bike, of course. And we're now making our way up to Picton to catch the ferry. So let's just enjoy the ride up there. It's been a beautiful day. We've had an amazing week, so just time to settle back and relax. Let's see how it looks. Up in the distance there, you can see I was pointing out with getting the first glimpses of some snow-covered or glacial-covered mountains. I'm not quite sure. Didn't notice them having a white top on them when we came down a week ago. But maybe we weren't getting quite the view that we are on this way up. And I have to say, this is a spectacular view. The Pacific Ocean there to the right is just looking like glass. And you can see Camo signalling out here. What he's pointing to is some dolphins that are frolicking out there in the calm waters of that bay. And I flicked my head around, I could see them, but they didn't come out on the video, unfortunately, but it sure did look spectacular. What a view. And as we come into Kaikoura itself, we don't stop in Kaikoura at this time, we're just rolling straight through. The ride plan for today is we're going to make a run up to Picton. We're going to get on the ferry. We will be stopping at Blenheim to put in some fuel at the NPD station there, and then roll straight up to the ferry. If we time it right, and we did, we will have time to grab a bite to eat and a coffee on the waterfront there at Picton before we roll over to the Interislander ferry check-in queue. Now when we came through Kaikoura just a little while ago in the video, that was around about 9:30 in the morning at that time, Saturday morning, so it's now the weekend. And we've got to get to Picton for 1 o'clock, or just after 1 o'clock, check-in on the ferry. So we're making plenty of good time. I think it's just around about 4 hours from Woodend up to Picton itself, and it's a distance of about 320 kilometres, something like that. So pretty nice, comfortable ride, especially with conditions like this. It's absolutely perfect, dreamlike, honestly. The views coming up here were astonishing. Couldn't be happier to finish the tour on this note. It's a funny thing, we pretty much will always come down the coast here on day one on any South Island tour, or most of the South Island tours that I've done. We kind of get ourselves to Woodend and then take a rest, and then start our tour proper from there, whichever way we happen to be going. And we most often would be coming back up the west coast or through the middle or up over the top, and very seldom would be riding up the Kaikoura Coast like this. But yeah, it's definitely worth to do because the light is just amazing here in the morning. Coming along, we got views like this. It was a stunner. Maybe look twice again at Kaikoura, as we should come back this way more often because it was really fun riding. Now again, on the way back, we experienced a lot of courtesy as we're riding along. Like this guy here is kind of indicating that he's going to be pulling over to the left to just let us slide on by. Camo had got ahead earlier. Now myself and James have got room to follow on through and let that guy get around with his day, and we also managed to get on with our day. And here we are, we've now pulled away from the coast. We're coming up over, I think it's called Weld Pass, and we're starting to run into a little bit more traffic as you'd expect on a Saturday. We're heading up. Probably most of these folks, or a number of them, particularly the touristy looking vehicles, are probably heading for the ferry just like us. Now the check-in time for our ferry is 1:15 in the afternoon, although the sailing time is 2:15, so that's the time it takes them to load on the vehicles. They would have start to get the trucks, etc., the freight on earlier, but then all of the passenger vehicles, mobile homes, camper vans, motorbikes will then be shunted or driven onto the boat. We'll eventually leave around about 2:15. It's scheduled to get into Wellington about 5:45 5:45 p.m. Our ride plan is to roll straight off the ferry and then straight north, just get out of Wellington, up through Transmission Gully, up to Levin, where we're going to spend the night, and then we'll be riding back to Auckland on the next day, on the Sunday. And that's what we did. This video is going to end when we roll onto the ferry, so it seems a fitting place to end this particular adventure. Sure to get a bit of a surprise to see a train rolling past there. We don't often see trains working on the weekends in Auckland. It seems to be the time when mostly the trains are closed for repairs or maintenance or whatnot, so at least they got them somewhat working down here in the South Island. Good to see. Just coming into the outskirts of Picton here. We did stop into the centre of town, got ourselves a small coffee and a little bite to eat, and then we just packed up and headed over for the Interislander check-in. Morning. Lane 7. Thank you. So, given the instruction to head over to lane 7, the motorbike lane, and we scoot on up to the front there, and it's where we end up waiting here for, I don't know, probably about an hour, I guess. A few more bikes rolled in behind us, not terribly many, wasn't a whole lot. And we sat here in the sweltering sun for that period of time until we finally got the nod. Time to saddle up, helmets on. They won't let you on without helmets if you just think, oh, I'll just go barehead. It's not possible. You've got to have your helmet on to get the bike onto the ship. But eventually we roll on over and get directed by the orange jacket guys to park the bikes. I've got a couple of twist ties in the tool bag hanging off the handlebars there, and tie the bike down that way. And then we go up the top, relax, have a pleasant crossing. It's about 3-4 hours on the boat. So this is where I'm going to leave it. It's been an amazing 9-day touring holiday with just a great bunch of people. Had a fantastic time. We'll do it again in a heartbeat. Just over 4,200 k's when we got home in that just a little over a week. What a great time we had. It's been such a pleasure looking at the the ride again over these last few weeks. Hope you've enjoyed it. But for now, I'm going to let this one close out. So take care out there. Ride safe, have fun. See you on the next one.